G'day everyone, welcome along. Steelhorse here. We are on the Valley, the Old Farm Challenge, and just getting things organised. We're in February, and Gilles decided that now's a good time. He's been working on this mill for a little while, and he's keen to produce some flour, so we should be able to make a little bit. So we'll get that started, and that gets the mill going. We'll let that run a bit in the background, but that'll give us the ability probably next month to be able to produce some bread at the bakery, which will be good. He's been down and picked up the windrower that we left at the end of the fields a few months back when we did our first lot of mowing. Now the apple trees are coming along quite nicely. One change that he's gone with, and where are we going to keep this? We can probably just pop this in the shed in. Why don't we whack it? Otherwise we'll end up with equipment everywhere. We can stick it in the carport next to the workshop. He's as he expected, the watering of the apple trees got old fairly quickly. Now that we're up to 10 of them. And so he's implemented some automatic irrigation, which is very easy to turn on. We still get charged for the water, so it wasn't free. But now we've got the ability to have water provided automatically to the trees. Oops, activate, yes. So this is just a mod if you're on PC. There are a couple of other ways it can be achieved, but this way seems to work pretty effectively. So I like getting a button. We don't have to have it on for all of them, but it's just as easy to keep everything up to date. And the other place we can irrigate, of course, is our garden. Now we don't need to leave that on all the time. We can turn that one off because that holds quite a lot of water. So you can see we're going to need to top up straw and pellets in our garden at some point. He has loaded a trailer with produce, but that's not a priority for today. What we need to be doing is heading over to the store, because we will need some lime ultimately, and some fertilizer, with fertilizer being the highest priority, and a means to spread it. So whilst we've got that plowing contract to finish off, what he's keen to do today is get the other area that we sort of marked out there turned into a field, so that when the planting window opens next month, we can plant our sugar beets. That's what he's decided to go with in the field. So let's just pop in here and see what we can find. So in terms of fertilizer spreaders, all this equipment is, well, actually we should check the sales first before we do anything. There's a large Origi track, which is kind of interesting, although I'm not sure that that's an electric one, which is what he's interested in. The rest of the equipment's not much use to us. So we can have a look at fertilizer spreaders. These are all a bit expensive. but his friend here in the store has pointed him at a few. He quite likes potentially this one. Might be the go. 1400 litres feels like a good volume. It's, what's the width of that? Doesn't tell us. 3 meters, I'm guessing, from the name. I think we might go with that one. We'll match our tractor and everything else can stay as is. So let's buy that. And then to put in it, we'll probably get by with a single bag of fertilizer. And he's heard good reports about this New Zealand product. So one of those we'll have. And then we need some lime. Let's 2,000 litres. Let's go with 2 bags of lime while we can afford it and hope that that gets us there. Well, actually, let's have a look at what we got from our soil report. So what's the state of the field here? So the pH is pretty low. So we might spread some lime on the whole field, and then when we plough the bit that we want to seed, we'll work that in. We probably should have done it before we put the barley in, but for now we'll just make do. We can, there's no need to move those bags, we can leave them there, I think. And this will be a good way to see how this this spreader performs. So let's pop you around this side. And just spoon it across. And that fills up pretty effectively. Excellent. Let's just run up. This shouldn't hurt our crops here. There we go. And we'll just run up the side. And just improve it a little bit. It's only adding about a half a point of pH, so it's not so bad. It's been interesting. His mum Madeline seems to be coming out of sort of the bad place she's been in the last few months and starting to take a little more interest in what's going on around the place, which is good. We might just do these in terms of alternates, I think. Might be just as easy. And, you know, whilst she's not yet ready to go back and resume her baking in the bakery, at least she's starting to take an interest, even if she isn't entirely on board with everything that he's doing. She's still a bit annoyed with him for throwing in his job in the city as an engineer and coming back here to look after her. He's explained that that's not a forever decision. It's just to make sure he sorts out her finances for retirement. Let's go back up the next one. So she's not entirely sure that she's happy about him putting crops in this field. She's very happy with the extra apple trees that he's planted, but she's happy with the addition of a couple of cows and some chickens, so that's all gone over pretty well. But she's not too keen on the crops in this grass field, so he's explained that we don't really have much in the way of choice at the minute, but that doesn't mean, being a mum, she's allowed to be cranky, and she is. So we'll see how we go. The first order of business is just to get through this sort of first year. He's feeling a little bit better now that we're selling some produce, but there's still an awful long way to go. But for now, we'll just keep dropping that lime on here. Let's go back and get another load. Looks like the 2 bags was a good choice. That got us a little over half the field sorted, so this will work out quite nicely, I think. Pop the second lot in. Oops, need to get a little bit closer. Hopefully this will only take a few more minutes to get sorted. Just a couple more trips up and down the field. It's helpful that we can, bit of a cloud there, just see through the grass. We're just about filled in this section, and that strip up the left hand side we don't need to worry too much about, because that's where we put the manure. We just need to finish this section here, and there's just a little patch on the grass which we'll get while we've got some in the tank, which enables us to maximize the yield of the grass field that we'll have left. Let's just finish you across there. Easy enough to see. Find our way around this patch. Grass tends to do better with a slightly higher pH. We'll just go and put the last little bit of lime in the bag, in the spreader, and that should go. Looks like the 2 bags was a pretty good choice. That's the last strip there. Just got one to find over here. I think that'll do us. Turn the spreader off. The big question is, where do we store it? That's the other thing he's getting a little bit of a hard time from his mother about. It's not as neat and tidy as she would like out here. But we'll have to deal with that in due course. Now, can we empty the spreader? bit more room. Which side is it trying to unload on is a big question. Given how difficult it's making it to unload, let's drive up on the field and see if that works. There's too many obstacles until we know how far away from the machine it's trying to unload. Let's have a look. Still not. We would appear to have encountered an issue. We needed the store's help to unload, but they were able to facilitate, so that was good. So let's pop the fertilizer in. So you can see we've got there 853 litres there, and we've now got our fertilizer, which we can spread on our barley. This should only take a minute. We've only got a small area here. Couple more laps and the job will be done. Whilst the grass would benefit potentially from some fertilizer as well, that might be a job for another time. He's quite keen to make sure we get onto the ploughing contracts, because it is important that we finish that today so we're all set for our own field next time. This is all coming along quite nicely, and we will have hopefully some flour next month to spread down to the take down to the bakery. So with any luck we'll be able to get some bread producing if he can sort of talk his mum into helping him out. He's never seen himself as a baker. That's why he followed the engineering path in the first place. So let's just follow that round there. That's looking a lot better. Another strip up there and all will be good. So apart from the little challenge getting the lime out, this spreader's worked quite nicely for us. Let's turn you off for a sec. See if we can get that last little strip there. And up we go. And this hasn't taken too much fertilizer, so we'll have plenty there for the field we make just to the left. May even have enough to do the grass. Let's just have a look. Yeah, so our yield now in this area is up at 122%. So pretty happy with that. That should give us a little bit of crop to make some flour from, and also to feed the chickens. We'll just check on them on the way past to make sure they're in good shape. So you can see they've still got food. They're down to 1,000 litres and there's 13 of them. So they're coming along. Just got the beginnings of a pallet over there. So animals are doing fine. Let's head across to our ploughing contract and see if we can get that knocked over, and if we finish it in a reasonable time, we'll take that trailer of produce to sell. So the display at the top shows us we got 55% done on the contract, but as you can see, this sort of long run part of the field, we've only got a couple, probably 3 more laps to do, and this bit will be finished, and then there's just that odd shaped section alongside the road, so shouldn't take too long to get through. If we look at the contract board, I'm not sure that there's any, no, so there's no new contracts, so certainly taking this one to get us through the winter period was a good strategy, and it's going to give us a nice injection of cash to go with what we got from the baling, and it's then just a question of can we get enough produce to, and perhaps some bread to get us up to the point where we want to be able to purchase the sugar mill. So that's kind of the sequence of things. He has started to look around the place, particularly with his mum not happy with him using the meadow for crops. Perhaps there's some land in the district that we could save for. Let's turn this around. He's back down the other side. We have a quick look at the map. The ideal fields to buy, of course, would, if we could ever afford it, would be the one next door, but that's 300 odd thousand. There is potentially, and it looks like it's quite good soil, this block just over the road for 80, which is nice and close and convenient. So it's worth a look. The one a little bit further up the hill is a bit more expensive. So if we could generate the 80,000 we need without compromising our other plans, then that might be a chance to buy that block that's next to the dairy. And that would make things nice and convenient. I guess given the fact that Gilles been able to generate a little bit of income to get us set up over the last couple of months, we should have some confidence that once he's got the money he needs for the sugar mill, that maybe a couple more contracts might provide the money for some land. And certainly with a little more land, that'd be a really handy stepping stone for heading into year 2. And this stripe will finish this section of the field and we can go up and tackle the next bit. So it's just coming up to 3 o'clock and we've got 2/3 of the contract done. Feels like we've done a little bit more of the area. And maybe this section will go a little bit quicker. We'll just have to wait and see. We'll just keep chiseling away at it. Shaping up as a race to dark. It's now 4 o'clock and we're at 73, must be coming up on 74%. Very confident that the job will be done tonight. It's but he might be just a little bit late for dinner. Not far to go now. The shadows are starting to lengthen. It's 5:30. He's going to be late for dinner. But should be with a fairly healthy check. The lights have just come on, so 82% the meter says. But a smallish area to go, so we'll get it done. At least the work we have to do on our own field is a bit of a doddle. In comparison, we did take this on knowing that it was a job to get us all the way through the winter, which it's done really nicely. So we can't complain. Not too far now. Just about there. Just as well it's warm in the cabin because the temperature's starting to fall as well, so looking like it'll be a frosty night. It's pretty clear out there. 92% done. %. Hopefully we're getting pretty close. It's 7:15. Was hoping to be done by now, but not quite. It is getting fairly dark. And there is a little patch back towards the gate. Hopefully we'll finish it off. %. Just this little patch here to do. It's just gone 7:20 and we're just waiting for it to tick over to tell us the job's done. There we go. Just tidy off this last little bit up to the corner. That will be the contract complete. check into the store, and that'll be us done for the day. Thank you very much for watching. Until next time, 17,000 in the kick. There we go. Short walk home. It's too easy. Thanks for watching. See you next time.